All right, good morning, everyone. I'm just about to start our first live stream here on LinkedIn Live and YouTube. Right, so just wanted to see if you guys can hear me and see me. If you can put some comments, that would be great. Leah, good morning. All right, well, this will start our first live stream with the topic of the password management and why you should never reuse your passwords. Um, so my name is Sergey Poltev, and I'm an IT professional, run an IT firm here in Ottawa, Canada. And I'll give you a quick story about myself here. The I've been working in IT all my life since I was 12 years old. I pursued my passion in computers and got my computer science degree, and I've been owning and operating award-winning tech support business here in Ottawa. And we've been over the years supporting a lot of customers, over 200 customers on a monthly basis, and we went through 40,000 support tickets. And today's topic is really important because out of all 40,000 support tickets, we have many clients calling us about passwords issues. Uh, so we'll talk about the passwords today. Just again, brief info on me. When I was 12, my parents bought me my first computer. I broke it within a few weeks and had to learn how to fix it myself. And built a little internet cafe with two of my friends here. I was 18, and they were 16 and 17. So yeah, this is how it's all started. And I moved to Canada. I opened my own IT firm, tech support firm, and now we're been running ever since as Capital Tech, yeah, Ottawa-based IT support services company. We're based in Canada, and we've been winning a couple of awards in between. And our real focus is on computer maintenance, computer cloud services, network, and phone systems. So, without further ado, let's start with our presentation today. And um, thank you. Thank you very much, Maria. It's awesome. So let's go from here. We'll talk about the passwords. So I don't know if you know that there's a study made, and researchers were looking at how many passwords does average people have. Uh, and it's actually astonishing, 80 passwords, and that's just from last year. This number even higher this year. So it's really really hard to imagine that we have so many passwords. And why is it important to to have different passwords for every account? We'll talk about this today. Um, and we see this a lot when our customers, what we call password recycling, recycling the passwords or reusing the password on multiple applications, accounts, etc., which leads to many problems. So how can we make your digital life more protected? Well, online attacks are increasing each year, so that's where it's important to take measures for making these experiences more protected. We're using apps, mobile devices. We're using all the different software that requires accounts. So we'll go through some of the tips today to protect you guys and give you some information to what to do next. So first of all, and again, that's the topic of today's webinar is, don't use the same passwords for on the multiple accounts. So when you don't follow this practice, you put all your accounts at risks. We've seen people who are get targeted with the problems with the cybersecurity attack. These people are targeted, and the passwords are being reused on other accounts. So, for example, Facebook, or it could be your email account, like a Google email. So it's important to have multiple different passwords on your for your systems. Obviously, you don't want to share your passwords. That's another tip for you guys. Don't share your passwords even with your spouse. Um, Again, you don't want to share your ATM pin code with anybody. So obviously, why wouldn't you share your password with others? So it's important to use long and complex passwords. You probably have seen some requirements for the passwords when you're trying to create an account where the password is not secure. So, like for example, in this picture here, smelly cat. Smelly is not good. Smelly cat is okay, but you need to make it better by increasing extra digits and increasing lowercase and uppercase letters and numbers, special characters. So multifunction authentication is something that very popular nowadays, and you experiencing it yourself by getting a second way of protecting. The passwords is not enough anymore. So having a 2FA or MFA multifunction authentication. Um, um, the multi-factor authentication gives you ability to put a second layer on that account, and many providers offer that. Facebook, Google, any platforms have it embedded, so you just need to enable that. A good way to do this is by using MFA Authenticator app, which we can talk more in the future. And hi, Steve. Um, has it started? I think you are online. Um, if we can, guys, can check if I'm already on LinkedIn, that would be great. But I know we're live on YouTube already. So what I wanted to um, talk about is the password manager right now, and which password manager actually to choose. Um, the There are many different password managers out there. Just these four password managers are quite common. We see them around our clients, and password to one password, LastPass, KeyPass, Bitwarden. Uh, there's, you know, they pretty much work exactly the same way. They have a different interface. Some of them are cloud-based, some of them are Windows only. Um, Again, some of them open source, some of them commercial use or enterprise use. Um, if Just to simplify this today's session, we made it around LastPass. It's one of the first password managers out there, and it's very easy to use. We'll talk about the LastPass more. So again, the password managers to start with, to use them, you will need a app downloaded onto your browser. So we're called extension. So we just need to create a new account when you first are creating a password manager with one password that's going to be secure. And this password would include well, we'll give you access to all the other passwords for you. It's important to create that strong long passwords. There's a resource online you can go to check it out. It's called howsecureismypassword.net, which will actually tell you, how secure is your password by typing it, and it will tell you how long it takes to crack that password. I highly recommend that. So howsecureismypassword.net. So this once you get started with the password manager, once you get that master password set up, you just you need to go and download your password manager, which is LastPass in our case. We would just type that up, and it will come into your browser with a little icon. So every extension in your browser has this um, um, icon, different icon. In the LastPass example, it's a square with three dots in it. When it's active, it's red, and when it's not, it's gray. So I just want to show you that. And then once it's already live, it's red, and you kind of want to make sure that the password is entered to access your Vault. Vault is where you're going to be storing all your passwords. So in this example here, you will see that there's a number of passwords stored in this LastPass instance. There's Amazon accounts, so there's Facebook, Google, Slack, you name it, and they're all inside of this repository of all the passwords. And now you can see that you can also manage other things in the same software. Okay, so you can open on one of the items and specify nodes, make sure that the password, if you really want to know what the password is, you can actually see it by clicking on the uh, button here, or the I button. You can categorize them all. In my example, I have about 400 or 500 passwords, and I don't remember them all. They're all different, and I don't really need to know what the password is, to be honest. I'll let LastPass do all the work for me. So let's just go next. So this is example of how the password manager is being used on the browser. Um, if you go to a browser and if you go to the website, in this example, go to meeting.com, or you can go to gmail.com, or you know hotmail.com, and it will present you with the login screen. So the login screen will expect you to enter your username and password. And in our case, if your password manager, in our case LastPass, is active, it will prompt you and find you automatically that the password is available in my database, and I can even preload it for you. This is by default what it does, but you can also set it up so it's even logs in for you automatically. So it can even sign you in to the um, um, to the actual resource website. In our case, GoToMeeting. So let's go to next. So in other items that we see a lot is people can manage other nodes like home Wi-Fi, for example, secure nodes about your, I don't know, social insurance number, driver's license number. You can upload pictures as well to a certain extent, garage codes, everything. So this is extremely important information, hard to remember, and you don't want to keep it all the same. So the LastPass allows you to organize it all, and not just LastPass. Any other password manager should have the same features. We just like the way LastPass presents this information. Um, so the next thing is payment credit cards. This is a very handy feature as well. Uh, we all making purchases online. We need to fill up the billing address and credit card information. So again, let LastPass do this for you securely in the system here. Another cool feature of password manager is you can share your passwords with other people who has a password manager as well. In this example, you can see there's shared folders set up. So for example, family finance accounts or kids social media accounts. I don't know if you can use that as a good example, but this just tells you that you can invite people to access this particular folder with passwords in the account. So in theory, you don't really need to share passwords old school way by telling what the passwords are. You just send them a link to password manager shared folder, which will give you access to the shared passwords. Another thing we found that in businesses also can do this for their employees. In fact, there's very cool features that you don't even need to show them what the password is. You can just share them the link to the password, and they will be able to copy and paste that password to the, let's say Facebook or anything else. It's very, very cool. So just to conclude, passwords managers are really have cool features, and another one is a security challenge feature, which will analyze all your passwords in your database, and it will tell you. First of all, it will do the quick search on dark web whether those passwords been compromised and those passwords are actually common online, and it'll tell you to change them if this happens. And your master password score will actually tell you if your master password is strong enough. And lastly, it will also find out whether your passwords are reused or not. So whether if you're using the same passwords for different accounts, and it will tell you which ones needs to be changed. So again, you don't have to worry about that. Remember, the passwords has to be different to reduce the risks of your exposure online, and you can utilize Password Manager for that. Um, Again, a couple of good benefits of using Password Manager. You don't need to have a good memory. You can use much stronger passwords. For example, I'm using 16-digit passwords for everything, and yeah, and I can't remember them. I, I don't need to remember them. Fast access. You can access this is very simply through the browser or through the mobile phone. You can manage shared accounts, very, very easy, and you can put all kinds of information there, not just your passwords, anything, like your, as I mentioned, the codes or pin codes or anything, you name it. So with that, we'll finish up, and I'd like to ask audience. We have 5 people alive right now. If you have any questions about password managers, based on my experience, I'll be able to provide you some of the answers. If you guys are on YouTube, you can sign in and post your question, or if you're on LinkedIn, just ask any questions pertaining to passwords. I'll be happy to answer them for you. And I'll put my screen back on, and we'll go from here. Um, I don't know if Steve, Aliyah, guys, pick up. If you have any questions, let me know. Right, we have one question from Aliyah. Hi, how to use password manager on a mobile device? Okay, so that's a very good question, because more and more people using mobile devices nowadays, and we logging into different accounts on mobile phones. So mobile phones come with usually a password manager built in, and we highly recommend not to use that password manager, because if somebody get access to your phone, they can easily access it. The Again, LastPass and any other password manager can overwrite the password manager built into your phone. In my case, I use iPhone, and iPhones have, um, the passwords, keychain password, which I will overwrite right away with LastPass. And in fact, I don't even need to now type the master password to use it on a mobile phone, because you can now use your eyes, the face ID, or fingertip, to access all your passwords. So it's really, really simple. Yeah, it's really easy. You can let me know, if I can help you more. Um, but yeah, phones are, um, and password managers are very, very easy to be used, um, for the mobile use. What are the? I have another question. What are the main risk of using password manager? We do get the questions like this a lot, of course. Password managers, in the past, they known to be compromised. So again, these are the software companies that are hosting them, and they can be compromised. However, it's been improved. In LastPass case, for example, it's been recently um, moved to a separate entity. It used to be owned by GoTo uh, Meeting, but now it's a separate entity company. They invest a lot of money into security on that. I guess the biggest risk that you can have is that password manager can be accessed by third party. But this we talked about MFA, multi-function authentication, so you can easily protect the password manager from unauthorized access by having the MFA set up. So it's simple. You can just, when you enter that master password, you can have it configured. So there's an extra code that needs to be entered and and this code will be generated, a new code every 30 minutes. That's what MFA is for. So again, there are risks that somebody can access your master account, but there are many different ways to protect that as well. If you actually go through um, every password manager's, uh, you know and review how to protect the master password from accessing, they will list all those features for you. And in my case, uh, we usually help people setting up MFA for their master passwords, because some people um, you know uh, have a tendency to write them actually down somewhere on the paper. So it's not secure to say that to have the only password. It has to be MFA. Hoping this will help. Any more questions? I don't know, Steve, you're here today, um, and have any questions? I want to leave you guys with something as well. Um, you can connect with me online using link below, or just by my email. Um, and and another thing, we have an offer today. If you guys want to know more about password protection, we can you can just scan the code above, or there's a link that you can follow here, which will give you a free consultation on Password Manager. More than happy to help you and your organization with Password Manager needs. Um, and if you guys have no more questions, I'll wrap it up. Thank you so much for joining me on this live webinar. It will be recorded and posted on YouTube. So please comment below if you have any more questions. I'll be glad to help you out. All right. Thank you so much.